start things off, I'm sure everybody's already talked about it. Our thoughts and prayers are with Damar. When you see something like that happen on a football field, really it's the first time I've ever seen it, something of that gravity. And it makes you reflect. It makes you reflect that, when you tell your players you love them, you really do love them. And it's, when you say, you break a huddle and say family, it really is family. And it was a tough thing to see. And like I said, I just, our thoughts and prayers are with him. And I think it's great how the positive side is I think he's galvanized this league with this situation and really galvanized our country. It's a positive thing that makes you think, hey, we're going to be all right. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
What did some of your players?
I mean, I would think this is only natural. Have some reservations about hitting guys.
There hasn't been any discussion on that. There was discussion on some guys that knew him. And from what I understand, I'm not an expert on it. It's the chance of something like that happening is like getting struck by lightning. I don't know the percentages. You have to talk to analytics, all that stuff. But it was just a crazy thing that happened at that split second. I've heard there's other sports that have more of these type of injuries than what football has had, and it was just it was devastating to watch. And like I said, I know I love our guys here, and I'm really good friends with Leslie Frazier, and just texted him and said we're all praying and we're here for him. And it was a tough thing because you put yourself. I think it's human nature to put yourself. What if that's one of your guys? And how they reacted to the entire situation, I thought was spot on. I mean, it was the medical staff and all that. That to me, that builds confidence in our league.
Nick McLeod said yesterday that was the toughest practice he's had to go through. He has a good relationship with Damar,
right.
And you have a guy like Pinnock also who's
Played
pretty
yeah.
How much did you notice that, and do you have to sort of keep an eye on them or talk to them and make sure they're doing all right now as you go through here this week?
I think that you do it both privately, and then we did it as a defense too. And both of them spoke, and I think that's good. The communication, you keep talking about it. We talked about it again today. I asked if there's any updates, if anybody's heard any updates on it. I think that I don't know the best way to say it. I'll just say it this way: they know our defensive meeting room's a safe place, and we talk about anything.
When you say both of them spoke to the room?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
I mean, it's it's real. It's life. That's the thing that we say that this game is very relative to life in a lot of ways. And then I mean it was real. It was life because they were both very close to him.
There's been a positive development this morning in terms of the prognosis. Awesome. Was that before the meeting?
No, that
okay.
was. It must be after the meeting because JP said he was going to find something. There was going to be an 8:00 meeting with the family, and then he was going to find out after he got out of defensive meetings.
Rick, how do you feel about the debate between resting guys and having momentum going forward? Obviously, you have that decision to make this week.
Yeah, I think the philosophy is our philosophy, and where that's at right now, it's up to Dave's, and I'll go with whatever Dave's wants to do, and I'm excited. All thoughts and all eyes are looking forward to playing Philadelphia.
I mean, how happy are you in retrospect that you were able to clinch on Sunday?
I was happy.
Instead of having to wait this
How happy can you be?
Yeah.
I was happy. I was that happy.
When you're in that moment and Dave's gets the Gatorade, video showed that you were right there with him.
Yeah.
He's doing his fist bumps and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been here from essentially day one, building this season. Do you take that moment in? You've had a lot of great moments in your career, but what did that mean to you?
That's why you do it. That's why you do it, because I know the guy that he is and the competitor he is and the leader that he is. I was happy for him. Also happy for myself, but I was really happy for him because you could just see him release it. Now we're on to Philly.
But you're so composed and you pride yourself on that on the sideline and everything. He's kind of the opposite. What's your reaction when you see him, basically turning red, throwing the headset, all that? How do you take that in?
It's just series of events. I mean, that, to me, I think to stay consistent is the best way for me to do it.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Jeff Saturday obviously had some comments about Kayvon's celebration the other day. Did you talk to Kayvon about it at all, and how did you feel about the entire sequence of events?
Yeah, well, I think that the company line is we're moving on to Philly, but I'll tell you this: he did not know that quarterback was hurt. Okay, I mean, this guy's he's a good guy, and he did not know he was hurt, and that's a dangerous play when there's 2 free runners coming off the edge of the backside of the quarterback. But he did not know that Nick Foles was hurt, and he wouldn't have done that if he did know that.
Could you see how the optics look bad?
Sure, if you wanted to, I mean, to me, it doesn't look bad as bad as what everybody's trying to blow this thing up as, because I know he did not know he was hurt. I know the guy, I know the person, I know his heart, so that's I get a little protective with that. I know I do. It probably sounded that way, but that's just how I feel.
Wink, in getting McKinney back and presumably Adoree seems to be making that kind of progress as well, how, if at all, will that change, like, the blitz rate, which I know is already tops in the league, or the way that you call your defense with both of them securely involved?
I think we talked about it last week. It all depends on the opponent that we play, and how we're going to match up. And there's just so many different things that go into it, Kim, that I can't give you an exact answer. I know I feel a lot better.
I was going to say peace of mind.
Yeah, I feel a lot better that they're there, and I think that Rome has done a great job in the secondary room, and Mike, we've developed some safeties while X has been out, and it's, now we got to, we got even more players to add to the mix, which is exciting to me.
How much better does that make the defense? And you're the back end, particularly in your
head. Yeah, I think it makes us better. How much better we'll see. I think that the thing's exciting to me is that we've come here and we've built a playoff defense. And there's nobody can argue that, and I think that we're starting to really catch our stride, and they understand the value of each snap as it gets closer towards the end of the year. The young ones and the vets.
Dexter's been a big part of that defense, and I just wanted to ask you first, for some thoughts on him overall, and also, have you ever seen a defensive lineman make a play like he did Sunday, throwing Quentin Nelson to the ground with one hand and getting a sack with the other hand at the same time?
I like the visual picture you painted there, because it looked like he just picked him up and threw him on top of quarterback, tackled them both to me. But every great defense has a centerpiece. You go back and look at, the defense that we're building, but the great defenses of the past, they always have a great centerpiece. And he's definitely become the centerpiece of our defense. And I think it's awesome. I told him yesterday I was so happy for him, proud of him, because he's a good person, he's smart, and he's worked his tail off. And I think it's great when you see players succeed that have put as much work in it as he has.
Landon's been biding his time. You said, when he's going to get an opportunity, he's going to make the most of it. That pick six.
I'm right again, aren't I? No, just kidding. The pick six was great. I mean, it was great. He was in a very humbling position coming here, coming back to New York, and the thing that I like to see about that you see about that is that he kept working. Had him up for this game, had him up for Jacksonville, and then we had one more call up, and selfishly, I wanted to get him up for the Washington game, and then we were able to get him on the roster. But it just goes to show you that you keep working, you keep battling, you keep trying, and eventually you'll break through. And You know, I'm really happy for him. He calls himself a hybrid now, if you know. And I told him not one of those, whatever those little hybrids are. It's got to be a sports car hybrid if there's such a thing.
He likes that positionless defense.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Well, you've been to the playoffs, and a lot of your older veterans have. Leo's never been there.
Right.
Do you sense anything from him that this means something to him?
Oh, it means something to everybody. It really does. And, you know, even if you have been to the playoffs, they know that how hard it is to get there. You know, just out of respect to the league, the players that play in it. And, you know, they're all getting excited and getting ready for that. You know, so it's fun to be around them.